you all to Pixie Dust Kitchen and Forecast. It's a rainy day here in Miami, and today we're going to be making natural homemade mashed potatoes with the skin. It's going to be a cream cheese mashed potatoes. We're going to be making a plant-based meatloaf, and we're going to be making stir-fried vegetables. Stay tuned for you guys can see how we can make a magical meal on this rainy day. Okay, so I have 3 russet potatoes. We're gonna start by chopping this. Remember, we are going to keep the skin on. Okay, so we're gonna cut these into small chunks, that way they cook faster. Okay, so now we have our 3 potatoes chopped up. We're gonna add hot water and we're gonna put it to cook while we start preparing our plant-based meatloaf. We're gonna start preparing our plant-based meatloaf. This is already defrosted. And then to this, we're gonna add 1/3 of a cup of roasted garlic, 1/2 of a cup of paprika. While we're cooking it, we're gonna add 1/2 of a cup of green olives. They're stuffed. Our seasoning is going to be onions and peppers. To this, before we put it in the air fryer, we're gonna make a sauce, which we're gonna brush it up with some ketchup and soy sauce. Okay, so we're gonna start adding our 1/3 of a cup of roasted garlic here to our food processor. Okay, we're gonna add 1/2 of a cup of paprika. And now we're gonna start chopping up our onion and our peppers, which we're gonna add to this. We're gonna put it in the food processor, and that's gonna be our seasoning for our plant-based meatloaf. Okay. So we're taking out the seeds of the red and yellow mini peppers. Okay. We're gonna cut this up into small slices, and we're gonna go ahead and put it here. And in the food processor we go. We're just gonna use 2 peppers, 1 yellow and 1 red. So now we're gonna chop this up. Okay, it's okay if we have a little bit of chunks of the peppers. That is totally fine. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put this here. Acércate más, mami, para que se vea. To our meat, which is plant-based. So now to this mixture that we added to the ground beef, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so we're gonna shape this into a little roll. Okay, and we're gonna put this for 18 minutes in the air fryer at 375. I'm gonna make it more or less about this size. We're gonna go ahead and put this in aluminum foil. Now this is gonna go into the air fryer. Mami, acércate más. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead, look at how beautiful this plant-based meatloaf looks. We're gonna go ahead and add the ingredients for our sauce. To make this even more of a magical experience, we're gonna go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of low sodium soy sauce. Okay. And we're gonna add about 1/3 of a cup of organic ketchup. Okay, just about that much. Okay, and we're gonna mix this make this into a paste, just how you see here, into a paste. And we're gonna brush it up on top of the plant-based meatloaf. Okay, we have just around the right consistency. Okay, so we're just gonna brush it on top, spread it all over our plant-based meatloaf. Make sure it is covered in our wonderful and magical sauce. Okay, I can't wait until this is done. The smell is just wonderful. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and add our half a cup of olives. We're gonna go ahead and add it just around. We're gonna sprinkle this around. Okay, and now we're gonna go ahead and put this 18 minutes. Okay, so our potatoes are just about done, and we're gonna start draining them and then preparing the ingredients that we're gonna go ahead and add to the mashed potatoes. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. Our potatoes with our skin are finally ready, and we're gonna start making the mashed potatoes. We're gonna add 1 cup of almond milk, unsweet. We're gonna add that here to our bowl. Okay, so we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of cream cheese, and we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter. So we're slowly gonna start mixing this until we have a creamy texture for the mashed potatoes. You wanna make sure that we don't have any lumps. We didn't add any salt to our potatoes as we have the soy sauce on our plant-based ground beef, and that already has a little bit of sodium, so we want to keep our food very low in sodium. Make it as healthy as possible and magical as possible. As you can see, I use some Disney stuff in my magical cooking today. As you can see, the bowl, we use the spoon, we use a few things, which you can check later on the link below if you're interested in any of the stuff that I use here in my kitchen. Okay, so I just want to show you a quick peek how the plant-based meatloaf came out with our sauce that we made with soy sauce and ketchup. We brushed it on top. It's finally done, and our creamy mashed potatoes. Now let's get started on those vegetables, and our meal will be ready in just a few. Okay, so now we're gonna get started on the vegetables. We added 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. We're using our Mickey Mouse hand spoon to make this more magical. So we're gonna wait for this to heat up a little bit. Now we have our garlic a little bit brown. Oh, okay. That's just the way it has to be. When we're gonna add our vegetables, we're gonna add them in very slowly. Okay. I'm using my Minnie Mouse glove to protect myself from the heat. Let me just put this up a little bit in heat to about 7. And we're gonna let that fry up a little bit in our olive oil and our garlic. And then we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Once this is already cooked, at the end, we're gonna add the tablespoon of soy sauce. Look at how beautiful these vegetables look. It's broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. So now, to season this up a little bit, we're gonna add half of a tablespoon of paprika. We're gonna just sprinkle it over the vegetables, just like that, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and mix this with our wooden spoon. a little bit. That's to just give it a little bit of color. And then at the end, we're gonna add our soy sauce. But not yet. We're gonna let this cook a little bit more. Okay, so we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of the soy sauce to our vegetables. And half. So it's a teaspoon and a half of the soy sauce that we're gonna add to our vegetables, as we don't want it to get too salty. We're gonna finish mixing this up and the vegetables are gonna be ready to serve. Okay, so finally our magical meal is done. We have creamy mashed potatoes that it was done with cream cheese, our stir-fried vegetables, and our plant-based ground beef meatloaf. So just for you know, this was actually inspired by a Disney meal that I had at Pop Century not too long ago, and it was awesome. So this is how I came up with this. Let's try to see how it came out. The meat is delicious. Mashed potatoes is wonderful. And the vegetables, oh my god, it's amazing. Thank you so much for watching us today at Pixie Dust Kitchen and Forecast. You can click on the links below if you're interested in any of the stuff that we use today in our magical Disney meal. Thank you so much for watching.